I'm going to talk about Baccarat, and let's focus on the draws and how the draws work. The way Baccarat works is there's two sides. There's a player and a banker. They both start with 2 cards, and depending on the draws, they either get a 3rd card or not. And the goal is to get closest to 9. And when you go over, let's say I have a 7 and a 4, that's 1. You think of it as 11 if you're a normal blackjack player, but it's always the 1's value that you're looking at. All right. Once you memorize the draws, then the game is really easy and straightforward. It does take some time to kind of memorize some of the draws. So when you get your cards, you're going to deal them out, 1 for the player, 1 for the bank, and they alternate like this. Now, what I train my dealers to do is just put your thumbs together, and it's like you're opening up a book. Okay, flip over your hand, push in, just like that. The first thing that I want to say is if either side has a total of 8 or 9, that's it. Nobody's going to get any cards, right? It's called the natural. So player has a natural 8. No draw, bank shows 0. Player wins, natural 8 over 0. All right, so 8 or 9, any side. It doesn't matter. Nobody's getting any of the cards after that. Whoever's closest to 9 wins, okay? So let's do another hand here. Okay, player shows 1, bank shows natural 9. No draw, bank wins 9 over 1. Automatic, 8 or 9, no cards drawn. Okay. All right, player shows natural 8, no draw. Bank shows 8, 8, 8, tie. That's it. Tie gets 8 to 1 if you're betting on the tie. If you bet player or banker, you don't win, you don't lose. All right, not in this example. All right, so that's the first tip that I like to tell you. The second one is if both sides have 6-6 or higher, nobody's getting any cards. This player side is always going to stand on 6 or higher, and then 5 or less they may draw unless the banker has an 8 or a 9. Okay, but anyways, 6-6 or higher, nobody takes any cards. Okay, player shows 6 and stands, bank shows 6. This is a 6-6 tie. 6-6, no cards. Tie gets 8 to 1. Okay, another example. Player shows 6 and stands, bank shows 7. That's it. Bank wins 7 over 6. No cards. All right. Player shows 7 and stands. Bank shows 6. Player wins 7 over 6. Okay, easy roll. 6-6 or higher. Nobody takes any cards. All right. Okay, the next tip, the player won't ever take a 3rd card when they have 6 or higher. Okay, so player shows 6 and stands. Player shows 7 and stands. Player has a natural 8. They're not taking cards. Player has a natural 9, like I said. That's it. Game over. So player shows 6 and stands. Bank shows 4. Okay, because it's not 6-6. The banker is actually going to take a 3rd card. Now, 3rd card is perpendicular, and it's placed right here. Okay. Now, at this point, whoever's closest to 9 wins. So you can see I have 3 aces, a 4 and a 10. That's 14. So banker has 4. Player has a face and a 6. Remember, faces are like 0. Because this is 16, you're only looking at the 1's value. So player wins 6 over 4. Okay. All right. Player shows 7 and stands. Bank shows 0. Again, just like the 6. The player stands on 6 or higher. The banker, they don't have 6, so they're going to draw a 3rd card. So card bank, 7 to beat. Player wins 7 over 3. All right. All right, so let's see what the player has here. 6 or higher, they're going to stand. 5 or less, they're going to draw a card unless the banker has 8 or 9. All right, so player shows 4. All right, so the player is supposed to draw unless this is an 8 or 9. So the next tip I'm going to tell you is if the banker has 7 or higher, they're not going to take any cards. So the banker stands on 7, banker gets natural 8 or 9, the game is over. All right, so player shows 4, bank shows 7, so bank stands. In this example, the player is going to take a third card, and whoever's closest to 9 wins. So card player 7 to beat. Banker wins 7 over 4. So the banker wins. Let's go again. Player shows 4. Banker shows 7 and stands. So card player 7 to beat, same example. Player wins 9 over 7. Right. Okay. I think we're on our next example here. All right. So this next tip, if both sides have 2 or less, they're both getting a third card. Okay. This is a common one. Player shows 0, bank shows 0. All right. They both have 2 or less. They're both taking a third card because they're low. So at this point, card each, card player, card bank. Whoever's closest to 9 wins. Now the banker has a 4, so banker wins 4 over 3. All right, that's card each rule. 2 or less. Now really, it's because the player, if the player has less than 6, right? Because they're going to draw a third card. And then if the banker has 2 or less, they're definitely drawing a card as well. So that's the card each rule. It actually has 5 or less and then 2 or less. But I always teach you 2 first because it's easier to remember that. 2 1 1 0 0. Any of those low ones, it's easy to know that they're both low, so they're both going to take a card at the same time. All right. Okay. Player shows 0, bank shows 1. Again, 2 or less, they both take a card. Card each, card player. Card bank 9 to tie. You can't beat 9. All right, player wins 9 over 7. All right, so player wins that hand. Okay, one more example of card each. All right, player shows 5. Remember, they're going to draw unless it's 8 or 9. Bank shows 0, so they both draw. Card each, card player. Okay, card bank 8 to beat. 8 tie. All right, tie pays 8 to 1. And now there's 4 rules here that you need to learn. This is probably the most important ones because there's 2 outcomes depending on what the player's draw card is going to be. The player's always going to draw a third card in these next examples. All right, so player shows 5, bank shows 3. So for the bank rule, this third card that the player is going to get, if it's anything but an 8, the banker's going to draw a third card. Right, this one's an outlier compared to the other ones. It doesn't really tie in. But anyways, player needs to draw first. And when the banker has a 3, a 2-card total of 3, if this is an 8, the game's over. If it's anything else but an 8, the banker's going to draw a third card. All right, so this card is not an 8. So automatically the banker's going to take a third card. So card bank 5 to beat. Player wins 5 over 4. Okay, let's do that example again. Player shows 0 and bank shows 3. Again, the player's third card, if it's an 8, the game's over. Card player, that's it. Okay, so whoever's closest to 9 wins. So the player wins 8 over 3 in this example. That's a panda 8. If you know what that side bet is, we'll talk about that some other time. Let's try one more hand here. All right, player shows 1 and bank shows 3. Card player. Remember, it's not the total now. It's just this third card. If it's an 8, the game is over. All right, game over. Whoever's closest to 9 wins. So player wins 9 over 3 in this example. All right, that is the 3 rule. The 4 rule is like this. So player shows 5. You know they're going to take a third card unless this is 8 or 9. Banker shows 4. So for the 4th rule, the player's going to take a third card first. Now, if that third card is 2 to 7, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7, the banker's going to draw a third card. If it's anything but then the game is over. Whoever's closest to 9 wins. All right. So card player, forget these values now. Don't look at this. Okay. Don't look at the total. This third card, 2 to 7. Okay. It isn't 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7. So now whoever's closest to 9 wins. So player wins 5 over 4. So that's the 4 rule. Okay. Let's do another one. Player shows 3. They're going to draw a third card unless this is 8 or 9. Bank shows 4. Again, the 4 rule. Card player, right? Don't look at this anymore. You're just looking at this third card. Is it 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7? It's between 2 and 7, so yes. Now it's card bank. Because of that 5, card bank, 8 to beat. All right, player wins 8 over 3. All right. Player shows 4. Bank shows 4. Card player 2 to 7. Banker will draw a third card. It is not 2 to 7. It's a 9. So now whoever's closest to 9 wins. In this example, banker wins 4 over 3. This was a reduction. Okay, that's the 4 rule. Now, let's talk about the 5. Player shows 5. Bank shows 5. Okay, so now the 4 rule was 2 to 7. The 5 rule is 4 to 7, which means that the player is going to draw a third card because they have less than 6. And if this third card is 4, 5, 6, or 7, so 4 to 7, then the banker will draw a third card. If it's not, then whoever's closest to 9 wins. All right, so card player. So it is a 7, so the banker is going to draw a third card. Again, put my hands over here because I want you to think of not the total. This is where dealers get confused. It's this third card. So if this third card is between 4 and 7, which it is, card banker, 2 to beat. Banker wins 7 over 2. Okay, it's a dragon 7. For those of you that know that side bet, we'll talk about that some other time. Okay, so the 5 rule. Once again, player shows 2, which means they're going to draw. Bank shows 5. Card player. Remember, this third card, 4 to 7. Okay, it isn't between 4 and 7. So the game's over. Whoever's closest to 9 wins. In this example, we have a 5-5 tie. Ties pay 8 to 1. Okay, one more time. Player shows 2. Bank shows 5. Card player, third card, 4 to 7. It is a 4. So card banker, 6 to beat. 6-6 tie. Okay. Tie pays 8 to 1. Player banker, that's a push. They don't win, they don't lose. All right, so we did the 3 rule, 4 rule, the 5 rule, and then now it's the 6 rule. So when banker has 6, when player draws the third card and banker has 6, player shows 2, bank shows 6. Card player, if this third card is 6 or 7, the banker is going to draw a third card. In this example, it's not. So whoever's closest to 9 wins. So banker wins 6 over 2. Okay, let's do that one more time. Player shows 4. Oops. Bank shows 6. Card player. Remember, forget this. Don't look at the total anymore. Look at this third card. It is 6 or 7. Right, so automatically, banker, card banker, 1 to beat. Okay, now whoever's closest to 9 wins. So banker wins 5 over 1. Or 21, get rid of the 10's value, so it's just 1. Bank wins 5 over 1. I think I have one more hand left. Player shows 3, bank shows 6, card player. That is not 6 or 7. Game over. Whoever's closest to 9 wins. Bank wins 6 over 3. Okay. Hopefully that helps you understand the draws. That's basically it for the rules. After this, I'll do some example hands, and hopefully you can watch and follow along. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comment section. But for now, thanks for watching. Thanks to the new subscribers over the last few months that have joined on. And thanks for your support. Okay, take care. Bye.